This is the new Mercedes AMG SL, and it's a little bit like a Gucci tracksuit because it's sporty, it's stylish, and it's very exclusive. You can't get a normal Mercedes one of these, you see. It's AMG only. Now in this video I'm going to talk you around the exterior, show you inside, see how practical it is or isn't, and I'm going to drive it on a wide range of roads here in sunny California. No, it's not that sunny today, it's more like Britain. Oh well. I'm also going to launch it, see how quick it is from 0 to 60 miles an hour. Because I'm Matt Watson and you're watching Car Wow. Let's start this video by talking about the design. So here at the back you've got really sleek tail lights. You have a retractable spoiler, so when you go above 50 miles an hour that'll raise up, and it actually goes between 4 different positions depending on how fast you're going. Also you've got the quad AMG tailpipes there, which are a little bit of a lie because the real exhausts are hidden within and they're a bit smaller. Here's another lie. These look like real vents, though when you look in the rear wheel arches, I'm not sure exactly what they could be venting. And I'm going to vent about the wheels. Actually, I'm not, because they're lovely. Look at those. These are the top of the range 21-inch alloys. The actual wheel sizes start at 19s, which will look too small on this car, especially when it's got such bulging wheel arches. Oh, look, flush door handles which pop out when you want to get in. Big side skirts there. Nice gloss door mirrors. Not so sure about this piece of plastic here. Moving to the front, look at this. We have some vents there, which do actually vent air. And the whole front of this car is super aggressive. Look at it. I love the front of this car. I love the power bulges in the bonnet. It's so mean looking. Really aggressive looking headlights as well. And the slatted AMG grille. In fact, there are 14 veins in this grille, which are a nod to the grille on the SL 300 racer from 1952. More vintage going on below. This is a lovely looking thing. If you disagree with me, let me know in the comments below, okay, and we'll fight it out. It's an expensive car though. Starts from £125,000. Now, if you're thinking about buying this, or any car for that matter, you're probably going to have to sell your current car, aren't you? And to do that, you should go to Car Wow. You can just click on the pop-out banner up there, follow the link in the description, and you can just upload some photos of your car, brief description, and our dealers will bid on your car, so you should get a really good price for it. Then you just choose which dealer to go with, and they'll come and pick your car up and put the money straight in your bank account. It's simple. Now, if you want to do that after this video, just simply Google "Help Me Car Wow," and you can just tell people to do that as well if your friends or family are thinking about selling their car as well. Here on the inside, this new SL feels very sporty. I love the dash design. I love the air vents. I like the sporty steering wheel. I like the metal gear selector paddles. I like the fact you can access your driving modes very quickly using this dial here, or even change individual things like the exhaust and the suspension setting on this other dial here. You've got metal switches for the windows. It feels high quality, all the materials do, apart from 1 or 2 bits and pieces such as this plastic on the steering column, which you do see, and the gear selector store. Shame really. Now what's interesting is the design around the digital driver's display. Now they do that to stop the glare. Obviously when you got the roof down you could get sun glowing on that, so it shouldn't be a problem with this new design, and there's loads of information that you can see on this digital driver's display, and you can change the views as well. And that brings you on to the main infotainment system, which is just like in the new S-Class, so it's a portrait style design. Runs Mercedes' latest infotainment system, which is pretty good though. Most people are just going to plug in their phone and use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. One thing I've noticed is that this lovely trim here does pick up fingerprints, and this trim here scratches easy. This is a brand new car. Look, there's already scratches in it. That's awful. Bit of a shame because, you know, it's pretty lovely inside this thing. The seats, got the upgraded sport seats, which feel pretty firm, but they do hold you in place really well, and they can actually adjust when you're driving to like squeeze your sides if you're going around a tight corner. Word of warning though, if you're carrying a tall passenger, they may find that if they push the seat far enough back to stretch out their legs, it then starts to rise and alter the backrest. So if you're really tall and sat there, you might not find this the most comfy car in the world. In terms of storage, we've got some storage under there and USB inputs. We've also got a glove box, though it's not particularly big and it's filled with crap. There's also some cup holders under there, wireless charging pad and USB-C there as well. There are some door bins which can hold a modest sized bottle there, and that's about your lot for practicality. Oh no, it isn't actually, because this latest version of the SL is a 2+2 seater, so it has some little rear seats. Now let's just find out what it's like in the back. So this is my driving position, okay? I'm of average height. Let's see if we can get into the back seats. Now, Mercedes don't claim that it's really for adults back here, but children should be able to fit. People say I'm a bit of a child, man-child, you know. So can I fit in here? Sort of like that. Huh? Yeah, like that. What's it like with the roof up? Should we try with the roof up? This could be awful, but let's give it a go. Am I about to get crushed by the roof? Now this new fabric folding roof is 21 kilos lighter than the folding metal hardtop of the old SL. And you can get it in 3 different colours. There's grey, there's this black, or you can get it in red. Right, should we check out the headroom now? Go on, there we go. Headroom. and legroom. It's like this. Maybe you could get a ride back from the pub. Children, I'm not even sure children will be fine. I think you might have social services after if you keep your kids in the back of here for too long. But I'm not sure it's any worse than a Porsche 911 to tell you the truth. It is what it is. Now let's talk about the boot. So the capacity is 240 litres, which isn't a lot. And look, there's this annoying ledge in there as well. Though I have found that if you have airplane size carry-on luggage like this, you can just fit it in that gap. It all works. So I'm pleased about that. However, if you want a sporty convertible with more boot space and you want to save £5,000 on it, click on the pop-out banner there, follow the link in the description below to check out that car. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You have to click the link to find out. Now, you can actually upgrade the boot on this car for a false floor and a 12-volt socket. Why aren't those features standard on something this expensive? That brings on to 5 annoying things about this car. I don't know what Mercedes AMG is doing with its sports stars lately. So these are the classic ones, fine. But if you want them a bit more racy, you have this weird sport design. It's just odd. And then if you want the super sport ones, then you have this horrible kind of rev counter coming towards you thing. Why don't they just have the old-fashioned rev counter with the speedo in the middle, like I used to have in my G63? I love that. These are just childish. Speaking of revs, not only have you got a soft limiter, but the more you rev it, the less it actually allows you to rev it to. See, it stopped me now, stopped me doing it. So that's enough revving, you've got to stop. It's just weird. To operate the roof, you first press this button here to bring up the menu, and then you have to slide it and hold it until the roof goes all the way down or all the way up. And that's a bit hard to do with a touchscreen, much easier with a physical button. The SL name stands for Sportlicht, which is German for sport light. Though this car might be sporty, it's certainly not light. Weighs almost 2 tons. With the roof up, you can barely see anything out the back window. It's not very good. Thankfully, this car has plenty of cool features to help make up for all this. As with other Mercedes convertibles, you get the wonderful air scarf system, which will blast the back of your neck with hot air. You just press a button here, and then let the air begin. Come on. There we go, finally. Are you worried about grounding out your lovely AMG SL Roadster's nose on a steep driveway or when you're going up a curb? Well, don't worry, you can get a nose lift as an option. This car doesn't have it, so I'm going to have to sort of like do this. You can get the car with a special AMG Track Pace app, so you can measure things like drag racing, but also you can get telemetry from various tracks, so you can choose which track you want. There's loads of them from all around the world, and they measure things like your braking point, your racing lines, your acceleration, your G-forces, and if you've got the optional heads-up display, it'll give you augmented reality directions to show you your racing line. The optional aerodynamics package includes a little carbon panel on the underbody which can extend and retract depending on which driving mode you're in, and that alters the airflow underneath the car and the amount of downforce you have. So if you have it in a sportier mode, it actually helps suck the nose down onto the ground for improved turning. Well, so the press pack says anyway. I tell you what, Mercedes haven't made this new SL Roadster particularly comfy to sit in. Ha 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 ha. Now, I just want to show you the car's chassis. So it's made up of pressed aluminium, but in places which require added strength, you've got this cast aluminium which has these separate little strengthening structures in it. That means it's light but very, very strong. In the windscreen pillars, you have high tension steel for rollover protection. Down in the bulkhead, you've got magnesium, and then in between the two chassis legs, joining them at the front, you have a carbon fibre bar, though you can't see it on this particular model here. Now, all of that means that this car's chassis is stiffer than that of the AMG GT Roadster. Now let's talk about the engine. So you get a 4-litre twin-turbo V8 and it's mated to a 9-speed automatic gearbox. There's 2 stators to tune. So if you have the SL55, you have 476 horsepower and 700 Nm of torque, and 0 to 60 time of 3.9 seconds. If you have the SL63, you then have 585 horsepower and 800 Nm of torque, and 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds. But we'll see just how quick it is in reality when I launch this car a bit later on. Okay, let's see what this new AMG SL is like to drive. Starting in town, and the first thing I'm going to do, of course, is, yes, I'm going to take the roof down. You can do it at speeds of up to 37 miles an hour, and it should do it in 15 seconds. Is this taking 15 seconds? What does the counter on the screen say? There we go, done. Just put these windows up. In fact, no, I'm gonna leave them like this. It's quite a high ledge actually to rest your arm on. Now I've got the suspension set up in the comfiest setting, and it still feels pretty firm, this car. When you hit bumps, you do notice them go through the chassis and you feel them through your bum a bit, but it's not bad. If I put it into Sport Plus mode, you don't notice that much of a difference. Maybe you feel a bit more jiggling in your fatty bits, which if you can afford one of these, you're probably a bit of a fat cat. I'm not sure if I want to go this way. Let me U-turn here. Right, okay. So the turning circle on this is 12.8 meters, which means that it's not the tightest. That's including rear wheel steering as well. Porsche 911 Turbo S Cabriolet, much tighter. That's like 10.9 meters, but it's not awful. Now this car is on the optional carbon ceramic brakes. They're a little bit more grabby than steel brakes when you're maneuvering around town. Not much. They're much better than they used to be actually, but they are just a little bit more enthusiastic when you first touch the pedal. So they take a little bit of getting used to. Yeah, this car is absolutely fine driving in America. It's a big thing, but you got plenty of space on these wide roads. Be interesting what it's like to drive in London. I don't think it's actually going to be too bad, because even though you sit quite low and the bonnet is long, you can still judge where the corners of the car are, because you can just see the very edge of the bonnet. In fact, you know what? Let's go for the louder exhaust. Annoy some people. Let's just put it into neutral. Sorry, people. Yeah, look at me. I'm causing chaos. Oh yeah, let's put it back into drive. Speaking of which, when you're just mooching around, this 9-speed automatic gearbox blends the gears together so very well. You hardly even know there's gears really. Let's try the car somewhere else. Now let's see what this SL is like to drive on the motorway. And what a motorway, I mean, we're running along the Pacific coast. It's absolutely superb. Though, certainly it's supposed to always shine in LA, but not today. Classic, isn't it? When a brick comes to LA, so do the rain clouds. Anyhow, with the windows down, there's quite a bit of buffeting, even though I've got the wind deflector. I can put them up just by using one button. There we go. It's much quieter. All I can feel is a little bit of ruffling of the top of my hair, just to let me know that yes, indeed I have got the roof open, but hardly any wind buffeting at all. That's quite impressive. Now if you want to get rid of it completely, I suppose you can just like lower your seat, get really low down, but then it's a bit harder for a short arse like me to see over the bonnet, so I might have to just raise it up a bit. And I do like to have the wind in my hair just a bit. Just cruising along in my SL in California. It's a tough job, but someone's going to do it. Poor me. Do you know what? It will be poor me if it does start to rain, because obviously I can't put the roof back up at these speeds. Maybe I can go fast enough that I can like outrun the rain. It just overtakes. See how quick this thing is. Yeah, it's quick enough. I could probably outrun the rain. Okay, so I've got the roof up, and it does a really good job of insulating you from outside noises. Like if I had the roof down, I'd really heard his tyres on this crappy concrete they use on the American highways. One thing I am noticing though is there's quite a bit of wind buffeting and whistling from this windscreen pillar, which is a bit annoying. Another thing that's annoying are these upgraded sports seats. They're a little bit hard on your bottom. In fact, my right buttock is starting to ache a little bit. I think I'll probably go for just the normal seats if I was doing lots of miles in this car. Other than that though, pretty relaxing. In fact, I can put the auto cruise control on and it'll do all the braking, accelerating and steering for me. I can just chill. It's easy. Let's see what this AMG SL is like to drive when you want to have some fun. So I'm going to put it into the sportiest setting possible. Take control of the gearbox with the paddles. Oh, we got lots of performance. Now I need to find a twisty road to really explore this car's chassis. There is a problem with that though. I've been driving for ages now and I can't find one anywhere. I know there's a canyon road about 2 hours from here, but by the time I get there, it's going to be dark, isn't it? And so it's going to be no good for you. You're not going to see anything. Oh look, here's a roundabout. Maybe I can just try this. Let's go around here. This is as good as it's going to get for now, I think. Yes, it grips the road really well. Oh, it grips really well, actually. That's impressive. It stays totally flat through the bends. And the steering is responsive. And you can really fly out the turns with the four-wheel drive system. Do you know what? Based on that really limited experience, I say this car definitely feels sharper to drive than a Bentley Continental GT. However, it's not quite as sharp as a Porsche 911 Turbo convertible. Is that good enough? Have I had enough time to experience the car to really give you that verdict? Well, no, I haven't, have I? What I'm going to do, I'm going to head to this canyon road. It'll be dark by then, and if driving on the canyon road changes my mind on any of that, I will give you an update. If not, what I just said is perfectly true. Right, now let's do something else. Finally, it's time to launch this car. So this SL55 is supposed to do 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds. What's the reality? Here goes the launch. Four-wheel drive for the win. Here we go. 0 to 60 in. Woohoo! 3, 8.67 seconds. Quicker than what Mercedes says. So then, what's my final verdict on the new Mercedes AMG SL? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I reckon you should shortlist it. It really is a desirable drop-top sports car. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like. If you didn't, give it a dislike. If you want to watch some more videos, you can just click on those windows there. And if you click on that box there, you can go to Carwow for a very special surprise, just from me.